Sit down. That nigga gonna blackball me like they did Monique.
Oh, yo, I'm so sick of it. Oh, man. Do you, y'all want to get into that? Not the news.
So, a question everybody know now that she lied about how much they really was offering her.
I seen it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they was offering her $3 million.
Are you serious?
Yes.
And this is the reason why I said it from the gate when she said boycott Netflix. No, bitch, they got Bright on there. I like that show.
Exactly.
Second,
Really do.
bitch, I can't roll with you because my thing was, you talk about you so Baltimore. Ever since you made it, you've become so Hollywood. When the fuck this city was burning down, bitch, where were you? Jay-Z came through. Beyonce.
I thought you was gonna have my money today.
Man, it is what it is.
Then last week you told me your wife was cooking.
Man, it is what it is.
Then again, I don't think I want your wife cooking because you don't like it.
Well,
check out this flashback from the Artist Exchange radio show.
That's the biggest thing, is just empowerment. Just get off of the begging line. Just be proud and just get our pride and our dignity back, because as a child we're taught how to go and beg for a job. Our parents, they literally taught us how to make sure you pull your pants up. Me, I'm 6'7", so I'm a bigger man. I was always taught how to not be threatening or intimidate people when I go into different interviews or different scenarios. And so we're literally taught how to condition ourselves, condition our speech, everything, in order to go and beg these people for a job, because we know when we walk in the door, I have to tear down 10 stereotypes before I get past hello. So we need to eliminate that. You know, and we need to eliminate that, and the way that we do that is employing ourselves and employing our brothers and sisters. And so that's our mission, is group economics, uplift ourselves, because I can't empower anyone until I empower myself, and change from just being willing, because it's in my heart and my passion to see my people succeed and see us do better and change the social order, because I know that we are not supposed to be on bottom. I understand who I was. I know I didn't fall out of the sky and land on a plantation. So when you have knowledge of self and you know who you are and what you come from, it's frustrating more than anything to see us in this position.
Tune into the Artist Exchange every Friday 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. every Saturday 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. live. Big Exposure.
Check out this snippet from the new season of Talk Lately with Monty about Jennifer Holliday.
Anyway, let's get back to
yeah, well, what I wanted to say is that I can understand 100% where Jennifer Holliday is coming from, and that's sort of kind of where my 20% came from. When I basically came out and said who I voted for, I received a lot of backlash. Even on my own talk show, which comes on every Monday from 5 to 7 p.m., I was called a coon. Okay, yeah, shout out for the plug. But yeah, someone actually, you know, they told CJ Bernie that I was a coon, and that really hurt me. I've been called everything from a fat whatever and everything, but someone actually commented on his Facebook.
I didn't even say that. That's kind of rough.
Called me a coon, but it's like I like you. It's crazy, because I just feel like someone like Jennifer Holliday. I understand why she stepped down, but I'm kind of upset with her, because I think she still should have performed. You know, if you're gonna jump out there, then stand in your truth. Don't let no one stop you or change your mind.
Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Artist Exchange Live.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Starts now. Welcome to the Artist Exchange radio show, here live only on BigSoulsRadio.com. I'm your host, Nate. We have Mr. HullyWood.
Hey, what's going on out there on this lovely Friday night?
And joining us, our first guest for the day is Miss Gaskins.
Hey, what up?
Comedian, actress, activist, fire starter.
And skinny.
And skinny. And skinny. About that. So she also is one of the founding members of the Art Apartheid.
Yep, Art Apartheid. Yes.
It's an organization and a meetup group that kind of addresses the inequalities that cities like Baltimore has in terms of allocating creative resources and opportunities to people of color. And she started this going on like 2 years?
3 years.
3 years.
Yep.
And from the very beginning, it's been something that's been supported because it was kind of popular to support it if you wasn't a person of color and had the resources. But it's still an issue in the city in terms of just the spacing, and everything is growing at a pace that we can't even keep up with. And a lot of the growth is coming from people that's coming from outside of the city into the city, and a lot of the resources is going to those people. And it's not an issue of, and I've heard this argument about you, Sheila, and individuals that support you, like myself, that it's about complaining and it's not fair. You know, the whole idea of what they are doing to Monique at this point. It's not fair. I think we should all have, and we work just as hard. We've been working just as hard. You know, if we have Arena Players, the oldest continuous black theater in the country, a community theater in the country, we've been doing this. It's not something that's new. You know, you got the Coppin and the Morgan flanking the east and west side. This is not new. You know, what is new is us getting the business end of the stick together. And I can say collectively, we never really worried about money because we always had another job. But it's time for us to reap the benefits of our hard work.
That's right. Time to get paid.
Time to get paid.
You are so right. And this isn't new for us. We've been doing creative things for years, eons. Yes. And especially Baltimore has been the pinnacle for performance art and comedy and music and all of that. And it's just time to, you know, put those ducats in a row. When chickens come to roost, whatever that expression is, it's time to get paid because we deserve it.
I was just I was talking to Sheila outside, and I've been meeting with a young lady, Dr. Proctor from the Peel Center, and that's one of the initiatives that she's trying to push in the city, being a person that's not of color. Making sure our spaces are open for everybody and not just for the talented or the gifted that they claim we aren't.
What?
Because a lot of the artists in the city are choosing now not to be trained artists. They're using their raw talents and going out there. And I'm so against somebody not at least trying school, because that's what gives people a leg up. You know, that's what. But we're learning from Monique. No matter what your resume says, it's still based off of a finish line that seems to be able to move at will.
Always.
And that's kind of the argument that I'm making. And I can't get away from Monique because Monique won't just sit down. And I don't want her to. But I hate coming back. This is like the 4th week that I've even addressed it, because now she's went on The View and she went on the Breakfast Club. And people are looking at her as if she's crazy. Like she don't have a right to say, I think this is wrong. And they're inviting her on to tell her she's wrong. And I just don't. I mean, do you agree with her fight?
I haven't watched it that much, but I think if it's about getting paid, then people should get paid. I do believe that. And I also...
What they're worth.
Right. What they worth. Because everybody else didn't. There is no reason why Matt Lauer, $25 million a year. For what? For being a prick.
Just to be
a prick. That's all he was. That's all he was. And there's no reason. Say again?
So that sounds like Dr. Phil to me. In the way.
Oh, really? See, and when I say it's unearned, y'all, it is unearned. One thing that I've been doing, and other than studying history and reading about racism and white supremacy and the effects, is that it isn't earned. There is no reason for you to have what you have because you didn't do anything to get it. And the other part too is that you set it up so that I can get my needs met.
So you're
that ain't cool.
But you're also making sure no one else gets ahead.
That's right.
And so it hurts. But for me, and I get your argument, but what hurts is when that treatment is coming from within.
Yeah.
So you're helping them keep that wall up from this side. You think you on that side, but you're still on this side because at the end of the day, they see you as they see me. So it's not really, you're helping them keep the wall up, and that's the problem in your argument and in your fight for equality. That's the problem that I had with it, because I remember when you first came on here, that was the problem that I had, because you was like, I don't know this city not to be creative and you know, open.
Right.
Well, I'm sorry, I know that city.
I see, I don't.
Because I came from the other side of it, where people were keeping people out or using people for what talents they did have and then throwing them away when the person was tired or without any more resources.
Yeah.
That's the city that I grew up in.
Well, see, that's so unfortunate because I was totally.
City, but that's what I grew up with.
I was totally spoiled. I have to say, I came up during the 70s. I came up when resources were around, where people really like you got in trouble from your neighbor. I came up in a time, and I'm not saying not everything was perfect, but it really was love there. It was like Wakanda. I ain't lying.
Like love here the 70s, because I even remember my parents telling me about how the 70s was.
I'm telling you, it was a beautiful thing.
Like everybody was getting along, you know, it was Afrocentric. Everybody was just
yes.
You say, if you get in trouble, boy, if you don't get it beaten by your neighbor, by the time you get to your house, you probably done got beat by the whole block.
Right.
If you done did something wrong.
Right.
But how everybody just came together and joined together.
And everybody was in a space, like you had doctors and lawyers and cab drivers. Everybody was on the same block because you couldn't live anywhere else.
Correct.
Well, the argument has been raised that segregation ruined the black community.
It really did.
And that scares me because that means we have to go back to a time where we're limited.
No, I don't think it's limited. I think we have to go back to a time where we're taking care of ourselves.
Right.
But that the realization that we were still limited in where we could go. Like you could become a doctor, a judge even, or even like a politician, but there were still limits to what you could do in those places.
But isn't that still a limit now?
Yeah. But it's coming from within now, along with
I don't know. I don't know. What's that guy who couldn't get in his own house? And Oprah, who she was trying to go shop somewhere, and they shut the door on her. I don't think it's still our own limits. I still think that, you know, we all drink that Kool-Aid, and so we all are affected by it. And fish don't know that they're out of water until they're out of water. So we got to do a whole lot of awakening.
Right. Because I believe, like, before the Oklahoma bombing happened in Chicago, I believe it was Chicago, but we had our own, black people had their own Wall Street, own hospitals, their own banks, and everything in their own school systems. And I believe if we can all just get, like, back to that way, we can actually prosper. Like, we could be prospering, but we can actually come together as a unit and, you know, grow.
And you know what they did as a result of that, Wall Street?
They wiped that whole entire town
They
out.
blew it. That was the first time they had air bombs.
And took the whole
that was an example of how that works. That military thing started there. And so it's not like I'm not mad that white people got stuff. We can get stuff too, and we can keep our stuff, but don't be trying to take away what I got. That's what pissed me off.
So tell us what art apartheid is.
Okay, so art apartheid, based on apartheid in South Africa, is with art is a holding space for delicate conversations about white supremacy and allyship. And my focus is on artists because I know artists see the big picture. So if I work with you on a personal level, if you start to understand your own white supremacy or your own issues, that can just filter out into your community. It can filter out to the place where you work, and it could be a ripple effect to get some change. Because just because it's art don't mean it's still not harmful.
Right.
And you should be able to want to share your resources.
Right.
So now I'm gonna go to the side and kind of explain my point of view right now. So the young lady Amy, who just painted the portrait for Michelle Obama. So Michelle and Barack, and I'm quite sure whoever is a part of that team, handpicked those two to be able to get that. So on the threads, from the day of, what has happened is artists that look like us was like, that ain't good. Right. That's horrible. Oh, I could have did a better job. And then they begin to post their images of what they could have done better, which made artists of other colors do the same thing. Right. So that's the kind of the work that I think we have to do from within before or simultaneously while we're fighting the disparities and the gap in resources and all that whole other list that I know Apartheid has created. Right. And what the problems are. But a lot of those things point to us because they were handpicked by these people. It wasn't like they were randomly.
But again, I keep going back to we all drank the Kool-Aid. Now,
I had peach.
Now, black folk, this whole white supremacy thing is so messed up. It makes you hate yourself. It makes you hate everything that's black. Yep. And we're not used to seeing us. First of all, when the president got in office, I ain't never think I was going to see that. Right. Like, never. And I'm a little over 40.
Just a little bit.
Just a little. Okay, a little over 50, but that ain't the point. That's not the point.
You look good, though. You look good.
Thank you, darlings. So I never thought that I was going to see that in my lifetime. I never did. And
you lived through two other people attempting it.
Yeah.
Like getting to a level of this could happen.
Right. I did not
Shirley
think
Chisholm
was,
and what's his name?
Jesse Jackson.
Jesse Jackson.
Yeah, and I never, but I knew Jesse wasn't. Shirley, maybe.
Because he had a name, so he got to a certain
Carson
level.
Running.
Yeah, but still, but I never thought I would see that. I never thought that
it would actually happen.
It would actually happen. And so when it comes to this art, to be in that spotlight like that, to be able to even express that, is unbelievable. And so black folk are not used to that.
Right.
We ain't used to that. One thing that I know that I always say to myself, I know a struggle. I know when something uncomfortable because it's negative. I know when the shoe gonna drop. But if the shoe ain't dropping, what's going on? I'm more afraid of that than knowing that the shoe gonna drop. And so we need to get comfortable with acceptance. We need to get comfortable with resources. We need to get comfortable with ourselves because we ain't. That whole institution of racism did its job.
Well,
it did its job.
It's deep-seated.
Deep-seated.
So when we come back, we're going to talk more about the projects that Miss Gaskins has coming up, 2 events that she has going on in the next couple weeks, actually. So definitely stay tuned, stay locked in. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show, only on BigExposedRadio.com. Don't forget, share, like. We're live right now. Share it and like it.
Yes, we're live.
You know, when you look at the way other groups do with their children, like black people, our main concern seems to always be making sure they play football. And I like football like the next person, but the reality is, statistically, your child has a better chance of being an astronaut than becoming an NFL football player. So I don't understand the emphasis where we all just always so pumped up on football. Like when my son was a kid, every time somebody would say, "Do you have kids?" And I said, "Yeah, I got a son." The first thing out their mouth, men, women, whoever, would be, "Does he play football?" You know, and I'm like, yeah, but you know, like, is that the end of all means? Right. You understand me? Right. He plays football, and it saddens me because nobody's getting results out of that. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, okay, your child hot, he played football, he good in rec league and high school, and then he plays in college. He don't go to the NFL. That's few and far and in between.
Then what happens?
Right. Well, I'll tell you what happens. He's 30 years old with arthritis in his neck, in his ankles, and everything from going head up, cracking heads. You understand me? For 11 years, and he ain't but 32 years old, and now he's jacked up.
Thank you for tuning in to BeExposedRadio.com. Sit back, relax, and listen to this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
What does hustle hard mean to you? What does that signify in your life?
That's a lifestyle for me. You know what I mean? Like, true story. I was born into a family in a community of hustlers. Now let's get focused right quick, because when people hear the word hustler, they confuse it with con artist or something negative. So they like to call people entrepreneurs, right? But the definition, and I'm paraphrasing, but the definition of hustle is forced movement or to be hurried, right? But we're not talking about just pushing other people. Sometimes you got to push yourself, and that what makes you a hustler. True story. So the thing about it is, like, when it comes to hustling, listen, quick story. I used to go buy juleps a lot, right? And my grandmother used to make me clean the yard, shovel snow, do things like that to go get a julep. But one day she was like, look, you putting all your money in someone else's pocket.
Word.
Save those quarters, and I can teach you how to make a formula, and you can sell your own juleps. You understand? So the next couple weeks, I saved my money.
Always a hustler.
Listen,
got to love
but think
everybody
about
got
this.
a grandma story like that.
Grandmothers are the natural hustlers because they were the ones who maintained and sustained our families through epidemics. You're talking Big Mama went through slavery and held it. You're talking Big Mama went through the Depression and held it. Big Mama went through crack and held it and still maintains it today. So if you don't think you come from a hustler, then you don't know where you come from. You understand?
That's so real.
I began to sell juleps, and ever since then, I capture a hustle. And a hustle is not a swindle. It's not a sneaky thing. It's up front. You're providing a need. You understand? So you're the bridge. If you're a true hustler, you're trying to be the bridge. If somebody's on one side and they need to get the other, you're trying to be the bridge, fill in the gap. So hustling is a lifestyle. It's not something you can do 10 minutes out the day. It has to be something you live.
Word.
Hey, what's up? This is Nate, host of the Artist Exchange Radio Show. Tune in every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. and every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artist, real talk, real live, here live on BeExposedRadio.com.
Hi, I'm LeVar Burton, and I'm proud to be a book person. How do I choose a book? Sometimes it's the cover, sometimes it's the title. I guess I'm pretty visual. If a book's really impressing me and the writing is really good, I will peek and see what the last paragraph is, because the endings of books should rock you. I am a book person, and if you're a book person too, read to a child and spark a lifetime of ambition. Join me at bookpeopleunite.org, because reading is fundamental. A public service announcement brought to you by Reading is Fundamental, Library of Congress, and the Ad Council.
Whoa. The moment my son saw a redwood tree.
It's huge!
Is the moment I knew that for him,
You can't even see the top of that thing!
even the sky has no limit.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. Your moment is out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hey, what's up, and welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live only on BeExposedRadio.com. It's me, your host, Nate. I am here with HullyWood.
Hey, what's going on out there? How y'all feeling this Friday night?
He must have had a date today.
No
He
date.
got on his velvet. What is that velvet?
What is this, velvet?
And joining us is the forever stirring up the mess in Baltimore, Miss Sheila Gaskin.
What I'm cooking? What? Is it crab cakes? See ya. I love crab cakes.
So you had a show that was dedicated to the life of Trayvon Martin. It was actually a birthday party to Trayvon Martin.
Yes, the surprise birthday party. I want to do that again.
But surprisingly, he would have been, 23 this year? So his birthday just passed last week, actually.
Oh, wow. I really should have put something in place.
But it was sad when because they said his birthday was coming up, but they didn't say his age. And on the heels of that, Eric Garner's daughter passed away from a heart attack. actually. So all of that happened like in the same like week and a half span. So it's really unfortunate that those things happen. But your style of theater is more reflective upon like those stories.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
tell us a little bit.
My approach is I have to figure out how to get people to think about things
Mm-hmm.
in a different way,
Mhm.
and not the same old, same old.
Mhm.
Because that's the only way you're gonna learn. And I found out that I am a interpreter. I found that out. I did a workshop. Shout out to Coley and Brian Francois, because they had a little workshop at Everyman,
Mhm.
and they asked about your gifts. And I was like, you know what? I can interpret. Like, I am that person between haves and have-nots. Seriously. And
I'm
that's
thinking
been
about
my
the
role.
move the show now. Go ahead.
I've been in that role for so long that I don't even fight it anymore. I'm
Mm.
like, why it gotta be me? You need to go over there. I mean, this is the Lord talking. You need to go over there and do this and do that. But why I gotta do it? Because I said so. And so I used to fight it. I don't fight it anymore. It's even like I work with special needs, and we're at the point now, like, we try to interpret what people say. Oh, he said so and so and so and so. So it's like a little game for us.
Mhm.
And I remember when my brother was really young, and his talking wasn't the best when he was young, and he used to
And Lord, he has not. Shut up.
no, he is not. He would mix up salt and pepper, and he would say, "I want the dog," And my mother was like, "What you want, boy?" I said, "Mom, he said he wants some salt," And it's so I've taken that and tried to facilitate and trying to communicate, and because the word facilitate means to make ease.
Yeah.
That's all. And so what I want to do with this whole Trayvon thing was have a different perspective. Like, why couldn't he have a party and have a cookout? And he just went to the store. And so the audience will sit with me and watch as we wait for him to come back from the store. And they already know the ending, but yet they're still waiting with me.
I mean, that's a part of the mourning process, because Trayvon Martin was one of few of those stories where it was just unbelievable. Like, it almost felt like we wanted him to have did something wrong to justify this vigilante, this monster that now he's unfolded. Now you believe he's a monster. All this stuff that he's did because you gave him that pass.
Right.
So now he felt justified in beating his wife and shooting at somebody else and pulling the gun on somebody else and drunk driving. So on all the charges that's come out to him, now you believe he's the animal that we suspected all along.
We knew, and he was just walking home.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that anti-black racism. Mm-hmm. That's that, because he was Latino, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he assumed, he just looked at the physicalness of this guy and was like, you know what, this is a threat. And then he kind of hunted him down for no reason and got off because he had some parents or somebody in his life had some connections.
His dad is a judge here in Maryland.
See, and that's what I'm talking about. And and I think, and I'm really saddened by Trayvon, because I think he is the Emmett Till of our time. He's the one he shouldn't have got, George shouldn't have got away.
Have you been to the museum?
What
the
museum?
New museum in D.C.?
Oh, yes.
And when you said Emmett Till, that made me think of the exhibit they had.
Yes.
That is really
I stood in that line. Yes.
And it felt like you were in a viewing.
Yes.
I saw it was people who was breaking down in line. That was like, it really felt like, even like the somberness of the room, the neutral color of the room. Yeah, it was really, it was real.
And then actually inside the coffin, he had his face.
Yes.
Man.
So tell us about the events that you have coming up.
So one of the things I want to shout out, Maryland Humanities.
Mm-hmm.
You can't call them Humanities Council no more. They large.
They got a little
They
change.
humanities, baby. They just 2 words today. Love you for real.
We no longer need them.
So they gave me a little grant because in 2017 we've been having conversations about the Confederate monuments, and we were calling them monumental moments. And it started from Pablo. Shout out to him. He was the artist. He's a muralist and an artist. He's in Paraguay now. He's coming back to the States soon. He did the Harriet Tubman statue, and he put it out there at the BMA, and the police took it down and broke it. And so he wanted to have some conversations about the monuments because he really believed that the community should have a say in what goes up and what goes down. And so we were talking, and I was like, apartheid can do that. If I can't do nothing, I can hold space for people to be able to express themselves, all colors, and we just keep it real, because where else can you go to talk about that? You ain't gonna go to your job, you ain't gonna go home, and so that became a vehicle, and so now with the grant, we're calling it Disappearing Acts from the Civil War to No More, and we are still having these conversations. And Tuesday, we're going to be at Baltimore Clay Works. It is open, 5707 Smith Avenue, from 6 to 8, where we will have clay so that you can create your own monument. I'm
gonna keep you on for a couple more minutes, but we're gonna go to a quick break. I'm gonna bring in Mr. Reed, and we're gonna get the rest of the information. So don't go anywhere, because Eric will have a conniption if we run over time. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hey everybody, check out what you missed on the one and only Be Inspired radio show.
Now here's one little speech I'm going to give you before I get into the next article. Here's what I want to tell you. Still, but fear is big business. Fear is big business. I'm not telling you not to be alarmed by what you're seeing. I'm not telling you not to be concerned. What I'm saying is not to buy into the notion that we should be afraid. You should be informed. You should be aware. You should start educating yourself about some things. I don't have the solutions. I don't have the answer. I wish I could say that if you did X, Y, and Z, you might not get shot by the police. I wish I could tell you that, but I can't. But what I can say is just start making yourself aware of what's going on, but don't be so consumed by what you're seeing that you become afraid, that you don't want to go out. Or you become numb. That's a good point, Nate. Nate said, or you become numb to it, like you just don't care. So we need you to just continue to be in touch with what's going on, but educate your family, talk to your sons, talk to your daughters, because it's not just limited to men. We know from Sandra Bland, she was a young woman who was killed. And we don't want to say, we don't know all the details behind what happened. No, the fact is that person's life still matters. They still have rights. They should not just be killed dead before they even get a trial. Okay, that's the point. They deserve a trial at least, but they can't even make it to the jail cell to get a trial, to be tried. They're being killed even before arrest. Terrible. So that's my soapbox.
Tune in to Be Inspired every Wednesday live at 7 p.m. right here on Be Exposed Radio.
You are tuned in to BeExposedRadio.com.
Not what's going to happen.
That's exactly.
Do y'all think that we're about to go to war with North Korea?
We're going to get tracked down, huh?
Do you think North Korea is going to bomb us? Is it going to be like a nuclear?
Probably.
No? Probably.
We lost all our allies. Yep. All of them.
Now, is that because of Trump, or is that something Obama
because
did?
of Trump.
He purposely lost them. He said it too. He doesn't want to.
All the people that don't like us now, there are nice pictures of Obama meeting with them.
She said, also look at his past campaign. Most of his endorsements were from the Klan. Y'all about to assassinate me. My phone, my hair keeps getting tangled up in this.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live on BeExposedRadio.com. It's me, your host, Nate, and we have our co-host,
HullyWood. How y'all doing out there on this Friday? It's a good Friday. Feels good outside to me, I'm alive, well.
He got a date tonight, so he wore his velvet into the studio.
Crush velvet.
Crush. Oh, I'm sorry. Crush. So we also have our two guests for the day, Miss Sheila Gaskins and Mr. Chris Reed. Should I give out your government? But they got to write the checks to somebody. So.
Yeah, you can just call me Chris Reed. That's fine.
So when we finished off, we're going to introduce Chris in a few seconds, but we were giving out the information to the next two events for Miss Gaskins.
Yes. So Tuesday, February the 27th, 6 to 8, Clayworks, Disappearing Ants. We're going to be talking about the Confederate monuments. Shout out again to Maryland Humanities. And we also will have clay there, and you can create your own little monument. And we'll have refreshments too.
Okay, little vittles.
Yeah,
Okay,
little
we like to eat.
And then I want to just plug really quick the Artivism Day. This is by Kenneth Morrison, the poet extraordinaire. Do more.
Mr. Do more.
He is celebrating everybody who is trying to make a difference in Baltimore. And the theme this year is violence. We're trying to take it on down, so it's a word that we don't even know nothing about. And that's going to be Sunday, March the 4th, from 5 to 8 at the Impact Hub. And all the donations, which is $10 at the door, will go to Ceasefire.
There we go. Yeah. That's done a phenomenal job.
Oh my goodness, 12 days.
12
we
days.
had 12 days of no shootings, no murders.
Right. More than
Shout out
our
to
elected officials can brag about. But that's neither here nor there.
I'm just saying.
So again, give us the information for the first one real quick.
First one is Clayworks. It is open and up. A lot of people's like, what happened? What happened to Clayworks? It's open.
They had a little hiatus.
Yeah. 507 Smith Avenue, 6 to 8. Confederate Monument Conversation, Reimagining. Totally free. And then Sunday, March the 4th, 5 to 8 at Impact Hub on North Avenue, North and Charles. $10 donations. Proceeds go to Ceasefires. Shout out to Kenneth.
There we go.
Making that happen.
So, Mr. Reed.
Yes.
Tell us who you are.
Well, again, my name is Christopher Reed, if you want to go with the old government, but I just go by Chris Reed.
He got his Friday night voice on stage.
That's the everyday voice.
I got you.
And that's a Superman name, ain't it?
Yes. So, just to give a little insight about who I am, I just started a production company here in Baltimore, which is called Bearded One Productions. It is a black production company, so I wanted to pretty much just work with us, black and brown people, and getting our stories told, getting our films out there, just because, of course, like we know, with the success of Black Panther, we can see that there's money in the black dollar. I mean, the black dollar and black power.
But that's been happening.
Oh my gosh!
But you look at Hollywood, they don't see that. It's, as you can see, Hollywood still has a diversity problem. And so one of my main goals is to, of course, build, content here in Baltimore, but more or less for my actors and for myself and everyone else. Well, come on down. Ease on down the road. We can get some work done. But one of the main goals is if we can't make it in Hollywood, we can bring Hollywood to us. So,
and we've seen that in Atlanta. We've seen it definitely in New York.
Right.
Hollywood is an ideal that is fading fast with this new streaming. But it could be anywhere.
It's very possible.
In your living room, in your bedroom, even.
Yes,
as
indeed.
we see with China Black and such.
So,
go ahead.
So the main goal is just to pretty much get those stories told, get our people out there, get our scripts out there, get our everything that we create. That's my production company's motto, is that we're going to try to get you out there as quickly, well, not quickly, but take our time, make sure everything is great and good to put out there and get it seen, because there's so many creative people here in Baltimore, and sometimes they just fly under the radar because no one
or we're sitting right in front of you.
You're right. Or they'll or and they just no one pays attention sometimes, and I think that sucks.
Did you start out in filmmaking or
no? So if we go back, I actually before I started doing this, I've always been a writer, so that was always my thing. But I've been a dancer for about 9-10 years.
Okay.
So
a legal dancer.
Okay. Legal dancer.
We got to ask questions.
A legal dancer. Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see.
That's why they call it peaches. I told you.
Just as long as you don't throw no quarters, we good. But I started out as a dancer, so when I was younger, I found out that hey, I can dance. So I started doing that a lot more, a lot more often. So that took over my life. So I steered away from, writing and acting. So, fast forward, I got back into acting and started doing theater more and, doing film more. And I was like, well, let me get back into my writing mood. So I started writing again. So I was like, well, if I can do, if I can continue to write, why don't I just start directing and, so I can see my own work done, so you can do all of that yourself. So dancing took over my life. Then I said, well, Chris, let's go back to your first love that you had before and, rekindle that, that love that we had, but we kind of separated for a little bit and now we're back together and it's like, we never left. So that love is still there.
The love is still there.
Can I ask Chris
Go ahead.
a question?
Yes.
So were you nurtured as a young dancer? Did you have support?
So, I had support, yes and no. So, and the no comes from myself. That's because I never told my mother, like, hey, I like to dance. Because there was a fear for me of, hey, I'm a black man and I want to dance. And as we all know, that in the black community, if you ain't doing what the black community tells you to do, which is play basketball, football, any kind of sport, it's like, no, we can toss that to the side. You don't have to do that. And so that was my own fault for not speaking up and saying, hey, I want to dance. So I didn't actually start dancing until I got into high school, which was, I started dancing probably like in the 10th grade. So, but I did have the support when my mother did find out, my family found out. She was like, why didn't you just say something before?
Oh, wow.
So
you had to get over your own fears.
Yeah, you have to get over your own fears, but we've been bred and, everything has been put on our plates that, hey, do what the black community tells you to do and be in this box.
Yeah.
So
because we only have Miss Gaskins for a few more moments, and I'm gonna ask both of you this question, and because I'm angry with her, all the stuff that's happening to Monique, and now Viola Davis is coming out, and a number of artists are coming out, but on the same token, a lot of other black individuals and artists are saying, be quiet, shut up, just go do your own thing. Do you feel as an actress and activist and now as a producer and in control of what images go out there in your own right, how do you all contend that feel that we should, or how we should go about this argument with Monique? Are we standing with her? Are we just ignoring her and doing our own thing and worrying about our own table? Or are we joining the fight? Or are we just going to create a vehicle for Monique to live in?
Wow, that's
be honest. Be honest. You speak your truth.
Wow.
So I don't know if you guys saw the Breakfast Club interview today.
The recent,
yes. So
the catastrophe.
And I applaud Monique for keeping that poker face because I don't have it. Because it's just, you can tell when she's getting angry. It's just like, sugar, baby, honey, listen.
She's getting older, so
she is.
She realized she can't be Baltimore everywhere she goes.
She can't.
I wish she would have let this one time. It's a Breakfast Club. They'd have had it before.
But it's like, here's the thing. I side with Monique.
Mm-hmm.
And
I hear but.
It's coming because I understand where she's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. That she does need to be paid the amount of money that she should be getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem that I have is that Monique, to me, is stuck in her own way, and she has to realize that. And you know, this is again. I
just realize you're an artist now.
I do.
And you about to start asking people for money. So
I am.
I just want to preface that.
No.
Say that. Go ahead.
So I want Monique to continue to do that fight, but I also want her to understand that we do live in a different society now, whereas though it's like supply and demand. So we are we live in a now generation, whereas though we want everything now. When we want it. So I believe that Monique should, to me, go on, forget Netflix, forget HBO, forget whatever. Do a web show, like do a web comedy show. You know,
and I think she's realized that, but at the same time she's realized this issue because she's probably been one of the ones like, well, I'm still working, I don't see no problems. But now people are talking to her like, well, I'm going through that.
Right.
So she feel like she has a space to be able to defend them.
Yeah, and I applaud that by all means. But I think that Monique should, at this point, I don't know and I don't know a lot about what Monique is doing right now, but I don't know if Monique has her own production company. You know what I mean? I don't know these things because if she does, do it through that. Forget.
But even if you go independent. Being independent just means I don't have a machine behind me, or the machine isn't as big, because even independent films still have to have investors.
That's true.
So it's not like you can. If she keep putting her own money into every project, she gonna be broke.
That's true.
Because we see how we support each other. Look at Birth of a Nation versus Black Panther.
Well, that's two different things, though.
Yeah.
They set him up on Birth of the Nation. They probably went. Birth of the Nation reminds me of the whole Vanessa Williams when she became Miss America. That whole, I'm gonna let her win, and then all of a sudden there's this controversy in this magazine, and then it makes a lot of money. They were sitting there going, okay, we know this history of this guy. Let's go ahead and let him do this thing, and then bring it out.
It's like Hollywood just makes their money off of negativity.
They do. They do.
Especially black negativity.
They get their bread from.
And it just sucks because it's like, Monique is your mother. You know what I mean? And
she feels like the aunt that you wanted to have,
Well, go ahead. But it's even on 12 Years a Slave, there were two slaves there, not just the only Lupita's role. There was another slave, and she cried all the time throughout the whole movie. And she got on everybody's nerve. The other slaves was like, just shut up. And she was like, why? I want my babies. I want my babies. She cried until she disappeared. Nobody know what happened. Did she get her babies? I don't know. But the point I'm making is that I think it's about tact and how you do things.
Yes.
You can't demand. You can't. You better pay me right now without.
But that's what Viola Davis is saying right now. But they're applauding her
because Viola, she right.
I think the problem
the scary part
is so crazy because a lot of people say it's the delivery that Monique presented.
It's how
she delivered it.
Right.
She's part of it. She a comedian. How else do you expect she gonna be as honest as possible?
You're right.
Viola Davis can pick her words because she is an actress. But Monique is.
I think, but that's right. She is, but I think that's the point that everybody's stuck on is that she's the delivery of Monique's speech versus Viola Davis's speech.
Right.
Yeah.
So
did you hear her latest interview?
Which one?
If
Viola
you think
Davis?
I'm Meryl Streep, pay me like Meryl Streep.
I did.
She said it just that raw.
I do hear that because I believe the same thing about Monique is that if you want to pay Amy Shoemaker the same amount of money, close to the same.
That name, but it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. She should be a shoemaker because she's not funny.
She's not funny. And pay Monique that same. And like she was saying, like on the Breakfast Club, like you should look at. They were looking at they weren't looking at resumes.
They were telling her they can't look at hers, but they were giving her Amy's
resume. And that's what didn't make sense to me. So you're saying you're not looking at the resume, but you are looking at the resume. Right. It's so stupid. And I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna leave it at that.
Touchy subject, huh?
Yeah, it is. I stand behind Monique. I stand behind Monique. 100%.
Okay, I see you.
But I will always, like, Mama, can you,
But to her argument, when do we stop? Just okay, next time we go all the way. At what point can we do that? So we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna say goodbye to Miss Gaskins, and we're gonna be live on Tuesday at Painter's Mill at the
Clayworks.
There we go. I was trying to give it to you.
The Clayworks, 5707 Smith Avenue. Be there. Be
there. So we're gonna come back with more with Mr. Reed. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show, only on BeExposedRadio.com.
Oh yeah.
Business owners, need more customers? Offer fantasy sports contests and generate more sales. Restaurants, bars, hotels, auto dealerships, real estate offices. Whatever your business, fantasy sports contests can help you increase your sales and bring you more loyal customers. Visit Fanify.com or call 888-55-SPORT. Our software lets you customize contests fast and easy for your brand. That's right. Visit Fanify.com or call 888-55-SPORT. That's 888-55-SPORT or visit Fanify.com.
It is what it is. Radio show.
Go ahead. All right, listen. All right, say situation. Cause I keep telling y'all, it's different situations in the child support thing. You can't just pinpoint one thing. You can't just say, "Oh, here did be. That's why you're on child support." Oh, he this. That's why you're on child support. Oh, she this. That's why she on child support. No, sometimes it could just go off of. Oh, I just called him and asked him, can he pay for the pictures? He ain't want to pay for the pictures. I'm taking his ass downtown. Yup.
Well, you got to know. Know who you dating.
Hold up. I just called her and asked, could she just get Junior some shoes? She couldn't even get him no church shoes. I'm taking her ass downtown. Now, when you go downtown, you go down there and you get $500. Right? Now you mad because you getting $500, and now you really ain't getting no shoes for Junior or Lord CC because you getting $500 now. Right?
Yeah, but you gotta remember, if you're a good father or a good mother, and you paying child support, right? You still gonna go ahead and do all that because
hold up.
It's just what it is.
Hold on, and that's another situation.
Right.
But you know what that creates? Now when we at the party. Mommy and Daddy ain't even down there speaking to each other. Cause Daddy done paid for the party and he done came out of pocket this month with $600.
But that's your child.
Be mad. Listen. He shouldn't be mad, but he also has another child with his wife.
That's on him.
Okay,
go ahead.
He got another child with his wife.
Okay.
Right. And you're taking away from him. And they taking away from him.
Well, he should have kept it in his pants.
Exactly.
Should have kept it in his pants. Stop complaining.
Stop complaining.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show, only on BeExposedRadio.com. Don't forget to go to our website at www.BeExposedRadio.com. Check out all of our old shows, along with all the other shows on the station. Speaking of station, we're the award-winning station.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to bring your show to Be Exposed, if you want to start a show, if you have a show, you want to bring it here, if you've been thinking, I got a lot to say, how about I do a show? Bring it here. I'm the man to help you. Hit us up at info@BeExposedRadio.com and let us know. Put in the subject line, I want a show, and I'm going to definitely help you get that. Also, if you missed any of our past shows, you can go to the Artist Exchange Radio Show page, click like, subscribe, and you'll always get the notification only when we go live. So let us know. You can call us in today at 410-702-5657. And today we have Mr. Chris Reed of the Bearded One Production. See, I didn't even shave my beard because I wanted to let him know, like,
won't even come in.
Like,
look, we share the beard with everybody.
There we go.
It's a brotherly thing.
It's cool. It's cool.
Just shave off a pack.
They actually have lace fronts for that now, so check that out.
I'm good. Mine don't grow in, it just won't come in. But I'm not putting a lace front on my chin.
Go through life as a baby face all day.
Hey, I'm cool with that.
Looking 21 for the rest of your life.
I'm cool.
So we were finishing off on a conversation. I'm sorry, I can't let it go. And after, even she went on The View, and I'm a ride or die Whoopi Goldberg all day long. That's my dream interview, actually. But even Monique said, had she called her during the whole Precious debacle when she didn't want to go overseas, she would have schooled her. When I hear language like that, it makes me mad. Because Whoopi, you not getting booked for nothing. And I'm only saying, she said herself, she didn't start getting booked for things until Barbara Walters gave her opportunity to come on The View. So for you to say this to Monique, knowing how difficult it is.
Right.
And I understand if you're doing a movie, push it, because the more you push it, the bigger your light is going to get.
Right.
But I'm sorry, offering somebody $500,000, and then when I went online and I read the contract, she can't do a new comedy show for 2 years.
Exactly.
Right.
If she got to deal with Netflix.
Right.
If she would have took it,
Oh wow.
So that's
so she would have lost money.
Right.
Yeah.
So she can't. I think it said she couldn't do any more comedy shows or whatever.
Any new show, so she could do that show.
But even after she was finished, she couldn't even do that.
Nope. And she can't perform the same jokes that she performs on that comedy special.
Netflix pretty much owns the rights to it.
Right, exactly.
So that's her losing.
So she would have to come up with
money.
new material.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, that's why the special normally comes at the end of like a tour. Because then it's kind of a culmination of what they've already been doing for like 2 years or so.
Right.
So it kind of allows them to be able to kind of take a break. But 2 years is a long time to only offer me. And I'm saying I ain't got $500,000 in 5 years. I'm just saying.
They offer me $500. What's up? I'm telling jokes all day.
And that's
but see, we not a Monique, so
right.
that looks good
that's
to
my
us.
argument. Like, I don't want somebody to get for this to happen to them too.
Right.
Because then we had, what was the other comedian said they offered her less than half of what they offered Monique. I can't remember her name, but they are often. But anyway, we will get back to the Bearded One production company and what they're producing.
Monique, we love you.
We do. I ride hard. I go off
Monique.
on her. Like the Beehive, I'm on Monique's team.
Come
like,
on.
No, you will not.
Come to the Arts Exchange, Monique.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I'm
Look,
tagging her everything.
she been doing her run, so I wouldn't be surprised.
I already sent in my bid, sir. You a minute late. But so you're doing a production now that you are right now. You're in the kind of building the attention for it and funding for it. So
yeah, right now we're in the process of doing a web series that's of course based here in Baltimore, called This Ninja. And so it's just a series that I wrote that follows like 5 black individuals dealing with life and everything it decides to throw at them. We deal with brother and sister losing their mother, drug addictions, just infidelities, of course, double lifestyles, and those type of situations. Situations that people deal with
every day
on an everyday basis. But also, one of the biggest things is that I really wanted it to be, of course, since I live here, it has to be here. But just showing the beauty of Baltimore, like some of the greatest, just when we do start filming, just getting some great shots of different parts of Baltimore.
And you're joining a legacy of filmmakers who have always used Baltimore as a backdrop, even if they claimed it was D.C. or this city.
Right.
They've used Baltimore as a backdrop.
And they actually have, because I remember being on set on House of Cards, and we was actually down right there by the Walters Art Gallery outside doing the scene. But I was a police officer, but I was a D.C. officer, and they was making it seem like we was in D.C., but they was using Baltimore.
Right.
So tell us, we're about to go to another quick break because we got to pay bills here. Let us know where we can find you at on social media, how we can add to that GoFundMe.
Sure.
Crowdfunder.
So if you would like to follow us, it is on Facebook. You go to Bearded One Productions. We'll pop right up. We're just the logo with the beard that's in the shape of Africa. If you go to our Instagram, that is Bearded one word, _productions. And you can find us on Instagram. Same. If you go on YouTube, Bearded One Productions also. We do have a couple of little some content up there right now. But if you would like to back us and support us and whatever you can do,
send them checks.
Send us, if you can send us money, that's fine. If you can, do it. If you can't, just share the video. But you can go to our Indiegogo and just go to the search engine and type in This Ninja, and it should pop right up for you.
There we go. So we're going to come back with Mr. Reed after this quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on the Artist Exchange Radio Show, only on BeExposedRadio.com.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you was going to have my money today.
Man, it is what it is.
Then last week you told me your wife was cooking.
Man, it is what it is.
Then again, I don't think I want your wife cooking because you don't like it.
Well, it is what it is.
This Fly T Miles, also known as Tyree Miles, and Mr. Miles the writer.
Hip Hop K. Check us out every Friday on Be Exposed Radio. It is what it is, 9/11.
Are they ready to? I know they're not ready to accept it, but yeah, exactly. That's my whole thing. Like, how many of them are really ready to think about it like that?
None.
Like
I think the problem is, like, even I don't even know how we got here, but it's inbred. You're not born to hate people. You're not born to distinguish between black and white and Asian and Hispanic. That's something that you're taught. You're taught. Point blank, period. My daughter came home and told me that her white teacher was black. Maybe it's because it's how she treated us. She don't see any color. But when it comes to all her friends, all her friends are mixed. All of her friends have a white parent, black, African, Hispanic, other parent.
So
children don't see color. You breed your children. Not breed. You raise your children to see that.
Yeah, most definitely.
They don't see racism.
Well, I guess
I met a little girl who had a black doll, and she said because the black dolls are prettier than the white dolls. But then I've taken a black doll and a white doll and put it in front of two kids, and it's a study that they've done before. You put it in front of two kids, and you put it in front of a kid, and you ask them which one is the nice one.
Man, it is what it is. Man, it is what it is. Well, it is what it is.
This Fly T Miles, also known as Tyree Miles, and Mr. Miles the writer.
Hip Hop K. Check us out every Friday on Be Exposed Radio at 9.
Hey, there's my son. You've been in your room all morning.
Hey, Dad.
Matt, what's wrong with your voice?
There is nothing wrong with my voice.
Oh, well, it's just sort of.
I have been playing my video games and electronic games for so many hours.
Well, it sounds like it might be time for you to take a break, or...
Hello, Dad.
Susan?
I have been watching TV and text messaging all morning. Yay, electronics. Yay, yay, yay.
Guys, I think it's about time to get in the car and take a little trip. Maybe see some trees, some green things.
What are these green things you speak of?
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
If I can't get things
Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show, only on BeExposedRadio.com. We're in the building with Suede Wonder, Mr. HullyWood.
Hey, how y'all doing out there on this lovely Friday? You know what I'm saying?
He only used that voice on Fridays, I'm just letting you know.
Yes, my Friday voice.
And our special guest for the day, Mr. Chris Reed, Bronze Kid on Instagram and the Bearded One Production Company on Facebook and on Instagram and Twitter. I thought I saw that.
Yeah, we do have a Twitter. I don't use it as often.
I talk too much, and I don't have time to like always be on it.
Yeah, and I think you get kind of like when you use Twitter, you kind of get stuck in the Twitter sphere.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
And you get,
I like taking pictures, so that's why.
Yeah, and you get bombarded with like celebrities because when I use Twitter, it just comes up and it's like, this person posted today. I'm like, why?
Yeah, they don't know me. Right.
Like,
Lisa, get out of my notifications.
Right, it's like, it's crazy.
I keep getting stuff from what's the lady from Waiting to Exhale, the writer, whatever her name was. I keep getting her notifications. I don't even know her. But I love her work, but I keep getting her notifications. She keeps sending something profound every day or something.
Right, and I'm like, did I sign up for your notifications?
You did, because you joined Twitter.
I joined Twitter. Okay, I got it. Sign my life away.
So tell us more about this series, the Ninja.
This Ninja.
This Ninja.
So, of course, like if you know anything, well, not to say you don't know anything, but this Ninja is just pretty much a play on words for, of course, the term that our people have taken back from, our oppressors. But, of course, I'm not going to call the colonizers, if you haven't seen.
Oh, he's infested.
But I just wanted to put that in there just for, like, kind of like a, hey, this is who we are. Of course I couldn't call it that. Like, what I would have thought it would.
I mean, a lot of people. I know a guy who his show is the Real Nigga Show. They just won't pick it up because they're afraid of that name.
Right. So I'm like, look, this is safe for you guys to say. You can say the word ninja. We're not going to kill you. But
don't be happy.
Don't be happy. Like, we're going to watch this Ninja right now. You're doing a little bit too much.
Right now. Reading between the lines.
Yeah, read it.
Reading between this
Ninja. Hum it. Don't even say it. Just hum it.
So, like, some of if you go to our Indiegogo again, like, that's a kind of like GoFundMe, but it's very film friendly. So again, that's Indiegogo, Bearded One Productions. If you go to Indiegogo, type in the search engine, this Ninja will pop right up. And you can leave a donation if you can't. Just share the videos and stuff, and we'll do that.
Send it to somebody who can leave a donation.
Yes, send it to someone.
You gotta be assertive, sir. You gotta
it's time to cook.
Send it to someone who can leave a donation.
He must be from East Baltimore.
Look.
See a little shy.
That's a big step when you go out there like that.
Yeah.
It's like,
give me money. Give me money. That's what I feel like. I'm like, can you hand some over? But yeah, if you can definitely donate. We take donations from $5 on up.
They take food stamps. They take sex,
look,
all that.
If you know anybody that's willing to volunteer some time, send them our way.
There we go.
Like, we're trying to build something. So if you were willing to build with us, come together. We'll build together.
What are some of the things that I know you're looking for help in terms of volunteers, but what are some of the things that you are looking for?
So, pretty much we want to get it filmed. So, videographers, people that know how to work lights and sound, to help out, with just directing people in areas. Like if we're doing like a big party scene or something like that, you need to direct people, like make sure this person's over here, make sure that person is over there, saying like action.
As a like a stage manager,
pretty much, yeah. So yeah, just somebody to make sure that the floor is mopped. Not literally mopping the floor, but making sure like
everything is set and everybody's in place where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, because this Ninja, I'm actually in the show, so it's going to be kind of complicated to go back and forth between directing and acting. So you got to kind of jump out of each move.
Sir. Thank you for realizing that.
Yes,
and not trying to wear all the hats.
Right.
Because the quality of your work would be so much better if you just made a choice. I'm not talking to specific people, like, I'm not going to say names. But I'm just saying, it's just the quality of it. And you see the difference and you're less stressed out. You're not really, but you're less stressed out knowing that you trusted somebody else or somebody knows what they're doing.
And that's one of the things, like, during this show, I've talked to a friend of mine, and I told her, I was like, oh, shout out to Anoli. But I told her, I said, I would love you to direct a episode because from look, like she does a lot of stuff on YouTube, and looking at the way she directs her own like kind of like YouTube videos, it's really interesting, and it's great because I want a female's perspective as a director on certain things, especially when it comes to female characters, because by me being a male, when writing for female characters is kind of hard because I don't live my day-to-day life as a female. So
well, when that happens, when you're crossing over that way, you normally pick out the stereotypes. It happens when women are directing men and men are directing women. You normally pick out the stereotypes,
right? And that's the one thing I want to try to steer away from is, you know, of course the stereotypes, but that's why I would love a woman to come in and say like, hey, like she's kind of doing something that we don't like. So how about we change this? And I'll take that. You know, that's why I brought you in, so you can give me that vision that, you know, of how to change this and make her better.
So tell us what this story will be. Is it like a storyline, or
so yeah,
is it like more of a variety
show? Because I get sidetracked. I'm sorry.
You good. That's what I'm here for. You good.
But so again, it takes place in Baltimore, but you have a couple of five main characters. Two of
maybe
the
6 because he hasn't picked me yet. It's cool.
But two of the main characters are brother and sister who you know aren't speaking to each other for numerous issues, and I'm trying not to give so much away.
Just give us a little taste of it.
So you deal with that, the brother and sister who are dealing with life and not talking to each other, dealing with the loss of their mother, having a father who has Alzheimer's. So by them not talking to each other, it's like that separation. It's like, where's one, where's the other? Like how can we come together? In the show, we also battle with religion, and how
they gonna be setting fires.
But it's like small things, but like battling through, you know, the idea of prayer, and you know, where do prayers go when it comes to types of things like this. Dealing again with living a double lifestyle.
Snitching on people.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I say, so does some of your visions, do they come from personal experience?
Some of them do. Yes.
Now he being nosy. Look at him. So what part of you?
I'm listening to what he's saying, you know.
Because he's a writer. I understand because you're a writer.
No.
Right, but you know, because some people they take from their life.
I definitely found pieces of my life to, you know, put into the show. So
what's off limits to you though? So when that pen get to working, it's not that business.
So what's off limits to me? Hardcore sex scenes. I mean,
I didn't know he was going to like jump out there.
So
it just threw me off for a second.
So like when I say hardcore sex scenes, I'm talking about like.
So you did hear the question that I asked? Like, what's off limits about your life?
Oh, what's up? I thought you was talking about the show.
Because I think they may have heard, but I just wanted to make sure you heard what I said. See, I'm trying to keep you safe here. I'm trying to keep you safe. You're in good hands. You're in good hands.
It's off limits.
That's why it threw me off. I was like, whoa. Krista's going like just go off there.
We just going to go in. But no, I don't know just yet. I don't know just yet.
That topic hasn't come up.
It hasn't. So I haven't gotten to a point where it's like, oh, I don't want to talk about that. You know, because I feel like, to me as a writer, you should be able to talk about whatever you want to talk about and not be ashamed of it. It's like,
well, no matter what you write about, people will like, did that happen to you?
Exactly. It's always going to happen. You know, like, oh, did this actually happen to somebody? But like one of the characters deals with a drug addiction. And I personally never had someone in my family that I know of deal with a drug addiction, but I've had a friend who dealt with being an alcoholic. So there was, you know, going to AA meetings and, you know, being out late at night, but then coming in the house smelling like alcohol, just doing crazy things that, you know, would get you in trouble, losing your job because of alcohol. So, you know, that's, instead of, you know, using the alcohol as a thing, I use drugs, because if you see in Baltimore, you know, we have a big problem with drugs. So I wanted to put that in there, and then having in the show to have someone that also deals these drugs. That's why this is where the double lifestyle comes into play, because you live two different lives. You have one life where you're dealing.
Sound minds are somewhere totally different.
Yeah. You have someone who's dealing with, selling it, doing this, and then when the daylight comes up,
they're digging at church on Sunday.
Right, you somebody completely different. So, and I mean, these are the type of people that you may not know, but they exist.
So, in terms of you. So your main 5 characters are set, but in terms of the people that you bring in and out of the storyline, how will you balance telling the truth about Baltimore without exploiting Baltimore?
Right. So there's
making fun. Rather.
Yeah. Right. So there's no nothing in there that's kind of exploits it. I just kind of want to bring up certain issues that we have. Like one of the things is that there's not a lot of violence that's going to be in the show at all, pretty much. And that's the one thing I don't want to glorify is the violence that we deal with here in Baltimore, because we see it every day. We see it every day. Why do you have to keep bringing it up?
Right.
But
I felt like that after Obama, I'm tired of seeing where we are and where we've been. I want to see where we can go now.
But I did want to do the drug situation, just because it's everywhere. You know what I mean? Like you can go right down to North Avenue in the morning.
First of all, sir, what you won't do is call names.
You ain't gotta go down to North Avenue. You can go
that's true. You can go you can go anywhere and you can see it, and it's like, how did you get to this point? You know what I mean? It's like,
will we see the humanity, like how somebody ended up?
Yes, you will. You will see. Okay. You will see how people come to.
A lot of the shows that I see, we just see the crackhead. We don't see what led up to it, or we don't learn the backstory of the person.
And that's the thing. Yeah, so you'll get all of that. And the thing is, it's like I enjoy cliffhangers, so there will be cliffhangers. And this show it's like a 5-episode series, and the reason I made it 5 episodes is because I wanted it to be like you watch it and then you want more, because I think when we watch like Netflix and everything like that, you got like 12 episodes. It's like all right, but I want it to be so short. You're like, come
do that to people.
I know, but
it leaves
you right.
It's it leaves me mad.
Like, how dare you give me 5 episodes or something and not continue it right now?
That just happened. So Facebook has their own streaming now,
which is excellent,
phenomenal. And I was watching the show loosely but exactly, and it came on their last season was last year when it first started, and then it just stopped after a couple, and I was like, I don't invest in TV watching. So for me to be in something, it was really so it needs to be a really good cliffhanger.
Yes.
These episodes need to be very juicy. Or I'm gonna lose interest like I did with Scandal. It became too much of a cliffhanger.
Yeah, and that's what I tried to do. Like I tried to take as much time as I could to write out as much as I can to make sure that everything is juicy and make sure everything is what's going to happen with this character next? Like, what's going to go here? What's going to go there? Like, how did this happen? What's the backstory to this? What's the backstory to that? So, when certain characters are introduced and we do get to the very last episode, you may be left with that whole well, we didn't know a lot about this person. Yeah, you're going to learn about it in the next once we get to the next season.
So I got a cliffhanger for you. We'll be right back on the Artist Exchange Radio Show with Mr. Chris Reed, Bearded One Productions. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Oh, yeah.
Hey everybody, check out what you missed on the one and only Be Inspired Radio Show.
Now here's one little speech I'm going to give you before I get into the next article. Here's what I want to tell you. Still, fear is big business. Fear is big business. I'm not telling you not to be alarmed by what you're seeing. I'm not telling you not to be concerned. What I'm saying is not to buy into the notion that we should be afraid. You should be informed. You should be aware. You should start educating yourself about some things. I don't have the solutions. I don't have the answer. I wish I could say that if you did X, Y, and C, you might not get shot by the police. I wish I could tell you that, but I can't. But what I can say is just start making yourself aware of what's going on, but don't be so consumed by what you're seeing that you become afraid, that you don't want to go out. Or you become numb. That's a good point, Nate. Nate said, or you become numb to it, like you just don't care. So we need you to just continue to be in touch with what's going on, but educate your family, talk to your sons, talk to your daughters, because it's not just limited to men. We know from Sandra Bland, she was a young woman who was killed. And we don't want to say, we don't know all the details behind what happened. No, the fact is that person's life still matters. They still have rights. They should not just be killed dead before they even get a trial. Okay, that's the point. They deserve a trial at least, but they can't even make it to the jail cell to get a trial, to be tried. They're being killed even before arrest. Terrible. So that's my soapbox.
Tune in to Be Inspired every Wednesday live at 7 p.m. right here on Be Exposed
Tearless
Radio.
baby shampoo because it's gentle on your baby's eyes. You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You always test the bath water to make sure it's not too hot. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You make sure she wears a helmet when she rides her bicycle. You put on his sunscreen, even when he's embarrassed his friends will see. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Is your child facing the right way in the car seat? Is the seat too big or too small? How do you know when it's time to move your child into the next type of seat? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat. That's safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Why is Connor having trouble focusing in school?
Having trouble finding Connor's middle school? Would you like directions?
No, why is Connor having trouble focusing in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with him over homework.
Home, walk, restaurant. Need a review?
No, I need help.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
And I just started him like, he was like, if you want me to do it, I'm gonna do it right now. Like, just free. I'm like,
what the hell wrong with you, sir?
I wanna.
Let me just reintroduce us. So we're back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show. Chris is wilding out. I'm your host, Nate. We're here with Mr. HullyWood.
What's going on out there on this lovely Friday night, y'all?
Can I just pause? Where you coming from, sir?
Funeral.
Okay, sorry. I was supposed to be funny, but we're back here. We got Chris Reed of the Bearded One production.
Yes.
From what I've seen clips of his last short that he did, and it was really good. It kind of threw me off. It wasn't what I was expecting.
Cliffhangers.
And shout out to, what's his name again?
The actor. I'll shout out the whole cast actually. Mm-hmm. We had actors Chad, Jordan J, Virginia, and myself. Okay. Even though I didn't want to be in it, an actor dropped out and I had to jump in. But you got to do what you got to do. So shout out to them. If you guys do want to check out that short film, it is on our YouTube. And again, that's Bearded One Productions. The name of the short film is called My Preference. So definitely check that out if you can.
It was definitely not what you expected. But what you probably would. It's sad to say in the world we're living in today.
Yes.
What messages do you want to get out there in terms of helping the narrative of Baltimore grow?
Man, just black stories. Mm-hmm. That's one of my main goals is to get black stories told. Mm-hmm. And I may sound wrong for saying it, but I'm really tired of white narratives on TV because it's everywhere. You know what I mean? You even have them writing our own shows. You even have nothing against them, but you have them writing our shows and things like that. I'd rather hear it from our own mouths.
Not even, I had this conversation with a young man. He's doing some filming work for me actually, and it was more so I was letting him know like how some of our shows get turned into white shows, like Living Single turned into Friends, and shows like that, and we see that happening, and people like, nah, because they were two completely, nope, they were the same.
I mean, didn't the producer or whoever came through and said like, hey, we got inspiration from a Living Single for Friends. Oh, so you just made a Living Single just with a Caucasian cast. Okay.
That we can't remember. Just one that they probably slept with, one black girl that they had on.
They slipped in a couple of like,
interracial dating,
like a little couple of like.
What is on your? And I tell people this all the time. So I've already seen like Black Panther, but I have to watch it again to actually be entertained because I'm looking for continuity and I'm looking for the mistakes and I'm looking for like technical things. Right. So what is on your watch list right now when you're kind of not so much delving for inspiration but looking, researching?
So like when I was writing this show, I did do a lot of TV watching. I went to, of course, younger writers and directors like myself. So I went to a Issa Rae. I went to a Childish Gambino.
Strange.
Yes.
He's a very strange.
He's very weird and like strange, but that's that's my dude. I love him.
Like he said, I'm gonna do everything my dad has not done in life. And I'm gonna just do the.
He's really Childish Gambino. Oh, Donald Glover. Donald Glover is a very, very, very talented guy. And like that, like he's like one of my biggest inspirations. But looking at the Ava DuVernays, Spike Lee's, even Tyler Perry, going to these people and looking at the way that they do things and how they direct and how they write their stories, not to steal from them, but to learn from them. I'm not here to take.
There's nothing new under the sun. All you can do is stay true to your point of view.
Right.
And not recreate the wheels. I was having a discussion earlier today. Like, we are in a generation where I see something, I like it, I'm going to do that. It has nothing to do with what your journey is, what your passion is. Right. But because they making money, I'm going to do that.
Exactly.
And we see a lot of TV shows and a lot of platforms come up because people just replicating stuff. Right. They see a model and I'm going to use that.
See a lot of duplicates. Like, remember back, I guess when The Office came out, everybody had that one camera show. Like, it's like The Office, this and that, and that became repetitive after a while. And then they went to something else.
And it became a show about nothing because they saw how Seinfeld worked. So I'm gonna take that, and I'm like,
right. And I think a lot of people have said like, if we're gonna talk about like certain movies and shows, like doing reboots, and someone said, I forgot who it was, but why don't we just go out and find new writers and new directors to make new shows? But it's like, you think of it, it's like Hollywood thinks of us like this, like that's a risk. Instead of taking that risk.
I think the reboot thing is coming more from the actors that was in it, or the people who had initial control or creativity over it.
But do we really need, certain reboots? Like,
Martin? Is that what you're going to say?
First of all, it's all the same cast except for Tommy.
Yeah,
you said it.
So you said it.
It's certain things that I can do without, like Full House. I can do
it's
Fuller House.
Fuller House.
Fuller House.
But I'm not. But it's giving opportunities to people who are like shut out.
That's true.
Like, what's her name? Raven Simone. They just aged her out. Places like that.
But Raven, she has another show.
But she's just a parent now.
Right. She's a parent. But but here's the thing. It's a completely different story. It's it's the same premise of that's still Raven, but it's a different story.
Because our children has divisions now.
Right. So yeah, it's different. But
y'all don't want to see Martin.
Here's what I'll tell you.
I ain't say that.
I didn't get exactly
because we gotta get first of all we gotta get Tisha Campbell from off of these music videos. That's the only way it's gonna happen.
Let Tisha do.
No,
let Tisha do Tisha.
She.
No, so you like?
She's like she's trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Hold on, sorry, because I had a question. So you like the music video?
Let Tisha do Tisha.
No, we're not going to let her go out like that.
Listen,
she has a legacy.
Okay,
I'm happy. I'm just happy as the fact that her and Martin cool
right
again. You know what I'm
after
saying?
Money will do that to you.
After
Money,
all of that.
But here's the thing.
Of money.
If you're gonna do a Martin reboot, and it's cool. Instead of doing the whole show, just give us a movie. I could deal with that.
See, I couldn't do that. Wouldn't be enough.
It would be enough.
You gonna watch the movie and be like, man, why didn't y'all just come back?
No, I would be fine because it's like the old episodes of Martin still make me laugh to this day.
That is true.
And that's what I'm saying. Like their chemistry. I mean, it's gonna be a little off because.
But they have. But
then did they say Cole was coming back? Well, he wasn't coming back.
Oh, everybody was coming back.
Okay. Martin and him.
I just want to know how they gonna do this with Tommy. Did he finally get a job and move away or something? Probably. Or
it's gonna be funny, and it's. I just know
I still
it's
think
gonna
it should just be a movie.
Right, because a lot of people saying Martin's not gonna be able to move the way he used to move, and everything is not gonna be as it is. I'm just saying.
But Martin is. I'm. You know what? I'm not feeling y'all right now.
Hey, no, I'm telling you what this is what I read in the comments.
Just make a movie. Make a movie. Give us a Martin movie.
Give us both.
You know,
I'm upset about this.
I think it's going to be dope because everybody's going to tune in to it. Like,
oh yeah, most definitely.
Is it a show that you want to come back? I got 2 shows that I want to come back. Is there any shows that you want to try out a reboot for? Roseanne coming back. Black people don't act like y'all wasn't watching.
Well, look, I used to watch Roseanne.
That was the closest to a black show that we had at the time.
If I want to be honest. One of the shows that I would love to come back is, I don't know if you guys used to watch it, but The Dinosaurs.
Oh, yeah, but with the baby and all that.
Yeah, because
what shows? We're going to talk about when we come back from the break, but what shows?
You got me. I'm going what? Fresh Prince.
Fresh Prince. Yeah. But you keep saying where somebody to pass away.
Check out this snippet from the new season of Talk Lately with Monty when he rants about his staff.
I agree. Can you come on? I told you stop touching that button. Why is it so loud? God. Did you turn one all the way up again? Do I have to come in there? God damn her. If it was going right, I would let you do your part, but I'm sorry, but it's just not functioning the way it's supposed to be.
You're right on the air.
I told you mind your business.
Well, Monty, if I can comment on the Jennifer Holiday situation, I can.
I know I'm live on the air. I'm sorry, 1 second.
Okay.
I know I'm live on the air. This is why this whole show is called Talk Lately. Anyway, let's get back to every Tuesday at 7 p.m. only on BeExposedRadio.com.
Y'all know what time it is. It is what it is. Radio show every Friday at 9 o'clock. It's your girl Love, the realest.
Your boy Biv, the Get Money Dummy, come with some.
You are now listening to Just a Bit Outside, the sports radio show at BeExposedRadio.com. Come join us every Monday night from 8 to 10 p.m. on YouTube, Facebook, or BeExposedRadio.com.
So we had a lot of things going on.
Mother's Day, Major League Baseball, pink bats, pink outfits.
Yeah. They certainly did the mothers good. They don't show them justice. Like Jimmy said, the pink bats, cleats, all types of pink highlights in the major leagues. The Orioles were swept by the Kansas City Royals.
Wah, wah.
The Kansas City Royals. Thank you, Eric. Kansas City Royals is they're like one of the worst teams in the Major League Baseball right now. Yeah, so that was a little tough.
Yeah, so the Orioles no longer have the top record. It belongs to the Washington Nationals now.
Yeah, so that was tough. So hopefully they'll get back on track with the next series. Maryland, we got some local sports, collegiate to report. The Maryland lacrosse. Let's shout out the Maryland lacrosse team. They are in the NCAA tournament, and they...
Hey, this is Mark, just a bit outside on BeExposedRadio.com. Listen to us every Monday, 8 to 10 p.m. on Facebook and on YouTube.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to the Arts Exchange Radio Show here live only on BeExposedRadio.com. Today was a really good day. We've had 5 seasons in the last week, but it's cool we gonna just keep it here. We're not gonna really do too much. No ice storms, no heat waves.
None of that.
But just try to, because I can just wear a jacket and wrap up a little bit. So when we went to break, I was asking the gentleman in the room, what shows would you like to see come back as a reboot? Give us a call, 410-702-5657. Let us know what show you would like to come back. I said Married with Children. Chris said
The Dinosaurs.
The Dinosaurs. That TV show was just scary because
why was it scary?
I don't know.
Funny.
It didn't look like costumes that they had on.
That was the point. Like
it just looked.
Jim Henson was
the
man.
baby was just creepy
some back in the day, some of their special effects is better than the special effects today.
Well, see, I'm a guy that I love anime and like those type of things.
Right.
So the Dinosaurs was just like when I was a kid, it was like, and the stuff that they talked about on the Dinosaurs was like. It's wrapped up in a kids show.
Yeah, that
but
baby.
They talked about a lot of adult subjects.
Man, he was good.
What show did you say, Damonn?
I said Fresh Prince. I want to see that.
I couldn't. I would want.
Give me PJs.
We already. Only way I would want the Fresh Prince to come back if they put both of the aunts on there.
Oh well, that's not gonna happen.
Right. I'm just saying, like
one of them was so bossy, they had to get rid of her or something.
She wasn't bossy. She was talented. Is it different?
They got rid of the dark skinned girl, the dark skinned woman, and put in a light skinned woman.
That's the only way I would watch it. I'm not gonna watch it if they don't bring both of them back. Because even with Roseanne, they brought back both of the daughters. The ones that remember they replaced the daughter, but they bringing back both of them. I don't know how that's gonna work. But
I watch Roseanne in like chunks, like every now and then. It's like it come on. It's like all right, I'm gonna watch Roseanne.
You didn't like it?
It's not that I didn't like it. I just never really watched it.
It was always really funny.
It was always background.
It felt like a black family. It really did. I mean, they were white people, obviously, but it just felt like something we should be watching.
What, Roseanne?
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know.
Roseanne is just—she's really.
She
funny.
comes on reruns all the time, so
yeah,
she's always there.
That's that residual check coming in.
So, in terms of ownership, starting your own production company, how do you feel about people owning their own work versus just selling ideas?
And take note from your boy Prince and Michael. Ownership is important, I think, especially for black people.
You just said Prince, and I just found out, I was reading the article, they've sold his music, and he had just gotten the bulk of it back. Well, he got all of it back, but he just had won back everything that the studios owned of his.
And
they sold it back.
Turn into a conspiracy show, but
right. Do your thing, sir.
No. We will leave that alone. But yeah, like ownership of your own stuff is important. Like that's copyright everything that you get. Like, as soon as you write something, copyright it.
Is that where you at now?
Yeah. So I'm in the process of copywriting every single thing that I have, like down to the toes. Like it does not matter. Staples, ink, everything.
If I paid for it, my name is right on it.
Because people can't be trusted, and I know it sounds bad, but you just can't trust everybody.
Right.
So if you're sending out a script to like an actor or something like that, say if they drop off and you didn't copyright that script and they're like, oh, I really like this,
and they still got it,
they take it. You know what I mean? Not to say it's going to happen, but that could happen. It
happens, and then it turns into a totally different story.
Exactly. And it's like you sitting there like, dang, that's my vision that they stole.
We just had a gentleman on, Mr. Rakis. He had the concept to set it off into a stage play.
Ooh. His
producer then went and made it his stage play, and he's casted it and got some nice names in it now. And he legally, Rakis can't. Oh, I'm not going to keep saying this. Well, yeah, he was on the show. He's not going to keep saying he's. It's nothing he can legally do because he had not secured the rights as of yet. But this producer was helping him to get the rights and got the rights, and because he was the one with the money,
right.
Now your concept is now about to be on tour.
And it's on somebody, I had friends posting it, like, well, they can't wait to see it. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, and I just, what's so crazy? I just looked at it just now.
What started off?
Yeah. No, not the movie, but
the
stage. Yeah, the stage play. And I was like, oh man, this looks interesting.
And when stuff like that happens, or what's happening to Monique now, and why she feels the need everywhere she goes, she's on her Periscope, because you have to protect your image, you have to protect your intellectual property, as if it's your name. People taking people's domains and buying it.
Right.
You know, we see that with the podcast Queen's Court. Now, what didn't happen was the creator of it didn't deem it necessary to legitimize it. She was just using it as a vehicle to get her work in her music.
Right.
And somebody came in and said, well, I want to protect this for us. Let me copyright
this
it.
domain.
And you can't do anything now. And she's going to go and T.S. Madison going to go and make money off of that.
Right.
And Kanye can't do anything about it.
That's,
Has that happened to you? Have you seen that happen to you before? Or you just learn from other people's mistakes?
I'm just learning from people's mistakes. And as I go on, because one, I'm new to this. You know what I mean? Especially coming into it being a filmmaker. Again, I only started off as a dancer and a writer. So writing short stories, and that's completely it. Like short stories that I probably just like have in like random books. So I'm just learning from everybody that you know already have done this, have already had these experiences happen to them. Like how can I not have this happen to me? What do I have to do? Where are the tunnels that I have to go under to make sure that I'm protected?
And it's not cheap doing it, and that's why a lot of people kind of be like, well, I'm gonna wait till I make money. But it's not a cheap process to business something or put the branding on something, because you really, like right now, you have all the ideas and like you're waiting for the funding and the team to come together, but you see how expensive that could be.
Exactly.
But because you're willing to be patient and not just put the work out there before the quality is good, it's going to pay off for you in the long run.
Right. And that's the one thing I was like, even though I'm very impatient, I'm patient. If that makes sense, because it's like I know I can't rush things, because if I did, I go into something and just put out doo-doo.
Don't put out doo-doo.
And that's
it's not gonna pay off for you. So.
You know, people step on it, it's like, oh, what's this under my shoe? Let me just wipe this off. You know, that's not.
Or somebody see the cracks in what you're doing and go perfect it.
Exactly. So that's why, like, I just try to learn as much as I can, as write down as much as I can, like watching bad movies, watching good movies, watching bad TV shows.
Bad movies will teach you a lot. I love, and not to say all independent or art films are bad, but I love going to the Charles Theater sometimes, and now in the Parkway Theater that's right down the street from it, and just watching movies that have yet to see the light of day or only on Netflix or something.
Exactly.
Watching these movies because they show you so much. Like as an actor, I love watching movies because it just gives me options. So when I go into auditions or rehearsals, I have options now.
Yep.
As opposed to just, trying to think of stuff off the dome. You have these options now.
That's very important. Like, you need to do those types of things, because if not, it's just going to be like, what else you got?
What is your goal, or what do you want to see happen from this journey you're on?
One of the things I want to see success for the web series. I definitely want to see success from that.
What does that success, as a sidebar, what does that success
So that success looks like to me is
not Gucci shoes.
Not Gucci shoes, nothing like that. But the success means to me is that when people come to not only myself but to my actors and be like, oh man, I saw you in this ninja. That was dope. Going up to these people, like, I just want people to be able to see a product and recognize that, hey, this is Chris Reed did this. Right. You know what I mean? I want to be recognized for, the work that I've done. And, and that's the one thing I try to always understand is that some people may look at it and just call it absolute crap. Some people may look at it and call it great.
But you don't need them watching anyway.
Right. But no, haters are the best. Haters are your best friends. I mean,
they motivate you.
They motivate you. That's true. They do motivate you. But I just want to success. Like, again, success for me is to have that series do well for what it as a web series, and hopefully grow from that. I mean, to be honest with you, I would love to see any show or anything that I produce come out and get on a major network or something like that.
Well, if you put me in it, sir, that's what would happen to you. I'm just saying it to you.
Listen,
like, blessings come. Blessings come.
Hey, I'm always open to new actors, new everything.
I just need something juicy. I want something like I'm ready as an actor. I've already did the last couple of things I've did on stage was kind of risky, but as an actor, I'm waiting to see stuff that challenges me.
Right.
I don't want it to be easy, and I'm not talking about challenge like me doing Shakespeare, but I want to do something that just, not even if it's me, but I just want to see actors doing things that are just outside of the norm, but yet so possible for us. You know.
I mean, hey, I'm here.
He said, "Hey,
I'm here.
You know, I'm here." Well, we're going to see how we're going to work together. We're going to go to another quick commercial break. And, oh, no, we got a couple more minutes in this segment. So I do have a question for you. In terms of you being a writer, where do you draw your influences from? So right now, not even the TV you're watching, but the people that you're seeing, because this is built for Baltimore, in Baltimore. Hopefully with Baltimore, I better not see a bunch of DC people in this, because I'm calling you out. I'm going to be right on your live. Like, this person lives in PG, not on the West Side. But where you draw your inspiration in terms of right now, because you're building the brand, the product, the platform right now while you're waiting for everything else to happen. But where do you draw your influence?
Listen, you guys are inspiring me right now. Like, to be honest with you,
I charge for my inspiration, so I'm just saying.
Oh shoot, let me copyright your inspiration real quick.
I'm already on it. So you should have put your phone down, sir. See, that's why you got to see.
But no, just everyday life. You know, taking notes from. I can see a man walking across the street. Like, what is his story? Like, what is her story? Like, just everyday life.
Have you found yourself talking to people that you wouldn't normally talk to?
Yes, because one, I work at a job where I have to talk to people. So
what do you do?
I work at Johns Hopkins, and we pretty much work.
So you just walk around with a book. You just write this person.
Well, I just when I talk to them, it's just like not, of course, like stealing their identities or anything like that. It's just like listening to them talk. It inspires me to, you know, do something like crazy. I'm like, oh man, you went to this side of the room, but how did you really get there? You know what I mean? I know it sounds crazy, but it's like,
are you high right now, sir?
How did you really get there? I feel like Solange right now. I promise I'm not high.
Yeah.
But just those type of things, like watching a lot of TV, of course, inspires me. Like, I was actually inspired to do I'm in the process of writing something else right now, and it's inspired by a lot of Caribbean, you know, lifestyle
culture.
Yeah, so that's, you know, something that inspired me, because I don't know any, you know, much about Caribbean people. So I'll talk to some of my Caribbean friends and reach out to Caribbean people to ask them their like views on these types of things. How do you feel about this? How do you feel about that? Like, where can I find this information out if I can't speak to you? So I, you know, cross your T's and dot your I's, like they always say, because I don't want to get something wrong. So there's, again, like I said, everyday life is the inspiration. So just living is inspiration.
Is there anything, so in terms of, so I remember there was this big wave of like biopics. Is it somebody's story that you would like to interpret?
No. Because I would never, ever, ever, as a writer, director, I do not want to touch somebody's life. I don't.
Why are you scared? Because of what they've been doing with these biopics?
Because of what they've been doing with these biopics. And
well, we got to go back to like the Malcolm X story, and we got to go back to that, not the Lifetime biopics. Maybe I'll change my mind in a couple years. But even if, like right now, I'm not going to do it, but if I could take their life story and interpret that into visual, not even necessarily, don't think about the writing, but just interpreting their story.
I would love to do Prince.
Okay.
And just because it's like, just to actually sit around and talk to people that were around this man to make a film about him would be so interested, because it's like, man, what did this man like? He was a mystery, but he wasn't. At the same time, he's a very private man,
right?
But you hear stories about Prince. Like, did he really do this? Did he really do that? Like, was he really this this sexy being that he portrayed on TV? You know what I mean?
Keep talking about this sexual stuff. That would be a thing.
I would, if I had a choice, I would want to do Sidney Poitier.
That's a good one.
I think it should be ruled though. I think either the person should be alive, like Tina Turner was very instrumental in that story.
Right.
What's Love Got to Do with
Toni
It.
Braxton wasn't hers.
Right. That I'm sorry. I just don't like that. Yeah, I think she should have waited a little bit longer.
Who, Toni?
Yeah. Like, let the book do what it do. But I think in terms of her story, because now we gonna miss the whole baby relationship. Right. Like, it just wasn't. I didn't say I don't think you should be in it. No, she was in the end of hers. So I don't like the idea of her voice. Like, let an actor be an actor. Like, I don't want you narrating your own biopic. I think that's so creepy. You should have just did an audio book. Like, that's just it just was too much. But I think either it should happen like Tina Turner did it. Like, she was instrumental on hiring and all that, but then she sit back and let people do what they do. And it was like almost, I mean, even though she was ad-libbing, what's her name, was ad-libbing the
Angela
music.
Bassett.
Right, but it still had the essence of who she was.
Right.
But I think, or if the person is not alive, you should have to wait 25 years after they passed away. Like, I just think, just so you're not putting out anything. But we got another quick break. We got to pay some bills. We have one more segment to go, and we got our special question with Mr. Chris Reed when we return. Don't go anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Check out this snippet from the new season of Talk Lately with Monty about Jennifer Holliday.
Anyway, let's get back to
Yeah.
Just a Bit Outside radio show.
I'm going for shellacking.
Ooh.
And another good stat, Miami has never beat Carolina at home.
Really?
Ever.
Okay.
Right. But the one good thing Miami can say is that they have safety TJ McDonald. He's back off of his 8-game suspension. So, he'll be out there lurking and trying to make it hard for Cam Newton in the offense. And then also, we have to make note that, they just let go of Kelvin Benjamin.
Yep.
So that's kind of one less weapon that the Carolina Panthers have. So it'll be interesting to see how everybody will adjust to the changes that has happened over the past week and a half. You got a
Just a Bit Outside radio show every Monday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Tune in.
50s, her late 40s, early 50s. That's not uncommon. It's a lot of. I mean, I can give you examples like that.
But it's a good thing he's dead because she can actually move on. Like, you can't move on. If he was alive, if he was alive and she found out she was having sex with her father for 15 years, you can't move on from that. Somebody's got to die.
You can't. It's gonna be hard.
Somebody's got to die.
So wait, that means he didn't know either, though.
Immediately, so I can stop vomiting because I don't have nothing else left to vomit. All my insides, all my skeleton.
He didn't know either. That's what.
Are you thinking about getting your GED diploma?
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hey, what's up, and welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show. We were just talking, shooting the breeze. I have a big thing with biopics. Like, it really has to be special for me. And VH1, BT, what's the other one? Lifetime, stop it. You're no longer in the biopic game. I don't care how much you're giving these artists. No more. Stop it. I'm making putting my foot down now. No more. If it's not on the big screen, it's not working.
Lifetime was spitting them out. They had Whitney, they had Aaliyah, then they had Britney Spears. They had a whole bunch.
It was too much. It was too.
They said they're gonna waste your lifetime.
What's her name?
Pretty much.
The young lady. I can't even remember her name, but it was one of the little white actresses that just went through like a drug binge.
Lindsay Lohan.
Lindsay Lohan. They made her. No, Elizabeth Taylor. She played Elizabeth. I was like, y'all doing whatever y'all want to do at this point.
Lindsay Lohan played Elizabeth Taylor.
Yeah, they just doing whatever they want to do at that point. I know Elizabeth I
remember even Oprah tried to help her out. Lindsay Lohan.
No, it's too much. So the three of them are out of the biopic industry. I said it on the Artist Exchange. You're out of business. No more. Let's ban them from doing it.
The show, the TV, the
this the ability to do biopics, period. Stick to your crybaby stories, Lifetime. VH1, stick to your behind the series. BT, stick to your Hood Chronicles. Let's do that. But the last question that I'm going to ask you is, one, what advice would you give to your 17-year-old self? Not to prevent anything, but...
Not to prevent anything.
You know how... I'm going to tell you that fire is hot. When you listen, you listen. If you don't, hey, you will find out it's hot.
So you said 17?
Mm-hmm. It's kind of that age where you can't lie to me no more, but I don't know everything.
Right.
He thinking real hard.
I'm trying to think of what I would tell myself. That's hard. There's a lot of things I would tell him.
He was doing some. He telling on himself now. What school did you go to? That'll tell me everything.
I went to Emerson High School.
Did you go to college?
No, I did. I did for a little bit.
Okay.
And then.
So Emerson kind of told me everything.
Yeah.
What's your age range?
Well, I don't care. I'm 20, 29.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
So, man. I think I would tell my 17-year-old self is when you feel the need that you want to give up, don't do it. I think when I was that age, I was getting defeated by a lot of things, like not being the best at something, like not being good at dance. Maybe, not feeling like I was good at writing, not feeling like I was good at like acting, not feeling like I was, good at being myself.
So you had instincts, but you were fighting those instincts based on outside assumptions.
Right, because I was afraid to be anything other than that black man that we're supposed to.
Or you were afraid to be you. So you still looking outward.
That is.
As representation.
Right. So I couldn't. When I was 17, I was afraid. Like you say, I was afraid to be me. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to be something other than myself. Mm-hmm. I was trying a whole bunch of different things.
So how many days has it been since you made that switch over?
Since getting comfortable with myself?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I think how many days? When did I start getting comfortable with myself?
I was just assuming,
I'll say this. I still battle with self-doubt. I still do that. I do doubt myself often.
But that's where that gray hair in your beard right there coming from. It just grew during the interview.
It probably did.
With the worry.
But I think I started building up a little bit of confidence probably around, like, to be honest with you, like 25.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, I think that's the moment. Like, you 25 years old, it's like, what am I doing? So just doing a lot of soul searching, like, what do you want? Like, sitting down with myself and like, what do you want to do?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you want to go?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you see yourself going in the next like 10 years? Is that really where you want to be?
questions start happening at 25.
Yeah.
I'll say right now, when do you turn 30?
December 31st.
So right now, start writing down everything that you're feeling and do it on a daily basis, because 29, you forget 29. 28, you like, oh my God, I got another year, I'm good.
Yeah.
I got this 1 year. And then 29 hits, and it goes so fast.
It does.
So really document. Being as though you're doing something bigger than yourself right now, write down and journal. That's the only advice. And I got that advice when I was 27, and I did not listen, because I was like, I got another year, or I got 9 months, and before I realized that I was 30, then 31.
Right.
And it went that fast. So this really document your life right now in terms of your emotions, and just step outside. Like, that's why I could jokingly say, how many days has it been?
Right.
Because I can see it. But just relax. Like, people can see you regardless.
Right.
So who you think you're hiding, or what you think you're hiding behind, people can see it. If they're really looking and paying attention, they can see it.
Right.
But don't ever second guess yourself. It'll be easy to, but don't doubt yourself. Fail on purpose, fail forward. But don't stand still, because eventually you will start walking backwards, and then you will turn around and start going backwards.
Right, because then what Denzel said, failure are stepping stones to our success.
So this has been an awesome episode of the Artist Exchange Radio Show. Sir, whatever I can do to help you, don't hesitate.
Yes.
I was joking but very serious about my role. But anything that I can do to really help you push what you're doing, don't hesitate to reach out.
Oh, most
call.
definitely.
You gotta have comrades in this field.
Exactly.
And I wish you so much success. Real quick, let us know where we can find you on social media.
Course.
And send you some checks.
So if you would like to back the project, which is This Ninja, you can head over to our Indiegogo. That's Indiegogo. And put in the search engine, This Ninja will pop right up. You can definitely check out our pitch video, which will be on that link also. If you want to follow us on Facebook, it's at Bearded One Productions. If you want to follow us on Instagram, it's at Bearded One, all one word, _ Productions. And you can follow us on Instagram and YouTube. Follow us at Bearded One Productions, and all of our content is up there.
There you go, Bearded One Production with Mr. Chris Reed. We'll share his post, send it to us, and we'll definitely put it out there for you. So this has been another edition of the Artist Exchange Radio Show. Tune in tomorrow. We have 3 phenomenal authors from the Authors Expo and Empowerment. So definitely stay tuned. We'll be back 12 p.m. Next up, It Is What It Is Radio Show. So don't go anywhere. We won't be back. So we out here. Peace. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Look at that, man. Still downloading. Bro, that takes like 3 years in a day.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, you are welcome. I appreciate it.
Anytime.
Very much.
Here we go. I really couldn't. I wanted to follow you. I was doing so much stuff over here.
It's all good.